Hey everyone, Evan Jones with you here for another episode of the RPAC Rundown Podcast. This week on the show, we will go through the football scoreboard from last week, brought to you by MNB Realty, and recap our featured matchups from last week. Also, we will take a look at things for the playoff landscape for the RPAC football teams who are still playing in the playoffs. Also, we will recap state cross country as we had 23 RPAC athletes compete at state cross country last Friday. Of course, check out rpacrundown.com and social media for all kinds of great content. Of course, the RPAC Rundown Podcast is brought to you by a number of great sponsors like Arapahoe Rehab and Fitness, Cambridge Supermarket, Webb's Oilfield Service, Cambridge Rehab and Fitness, Onyx Native, and C+. We'll take a break. Be right back. Now it's time to take a look at the RPAC Rundown Football Scoreboard brought to you by MNB Realty. Of course, last week was the first round of playoffs for 8-man football in D1 and D2. Class D6 for 6-man football. They were finishing up the regular season. So let's take a look at last week's results. In Class D1 postseason action, number 7, Plainview, beat number 26, Alma, 43-8. Number 2, Dundee County Stratton, beat number 31, Elkhorn Valley, 49-6. In Class D2 postseason action, number 10, Loomis, beat number 23, Cambridge, 66-30. Number 3, Hitchcock County, beat number 30, Franklin, 42-14. Number 11 seeded Mullen beat number 22 seeded Maxwell, 54-13. Now in Class D6, they wrapped up the regular season last week. Medicine Valley beat Juanita Palisade, 53-51. Southwest took down Paxton, 55-13. And then SEM beat Wallace, 54-40. Once again, the weekly football scoreboard is brought to you by MNB Realty. We'll take a break. Be right back. On Thursday last week, we had an RPAC Rundown featured matchup between Loomis and Cambridge in the first round of the Class D2 playoffs. Loomis is the number 10 seed. Cambridge was the number 23 seed. Loomis won by a final of 66-30. This RPAC Rundown featured matchup was brought to you by Webb's Oilfield Service, Onyx Native, Lord's Hardware, Furniture, and Appliances, Cornfed Entertainment, Elevate Wellness, providing physical therapy and a large range of holistic health services to the entire Southwest Nebraska region. JBK Operating LLC, Dundee County Hospital, Red Roof Farms, and Waypoint Bank in Cambridge. Of course, we have a full recap story on the website that you can check out there on rpacrundown.com. Let's take a break and then we will recap state cross country from last week. You're listening to the RPAC Rundown Podcast. The RPAC had 23 runners compete at the 2025 NSAA Class D State Cross Country Meet in Kearney at the Country Club last Friday. For the girls' side of things, the team title winner was McCool Junction with 30 points. Cambridge finished 17th with 160. For the boys' side, Donovan Trumbull took first with 24 points, and Alma finished 15th with 136. We have more results on the website at rpacrundown.com, and you can read the full article there. For individuals on the girls' side, for the RPAC, Alma's Aisha Neal, she finished 23rd with a time of 20 minutes, 34.4 seconds. For Cambridge, Lydia McGowan finished 25th with a time of 20 minutes, 43.1 seconds. Ryer Gunderson finished 108th with a time of 24 minutes, 47.0 seconds. Kylie Keppen finished 114th with a time of 25 minutes, 50.0 seconds. Ruth Harris, she finished 115th with a time of 25 minutes, 51.0 seconds. And Katie Fagley finished 118th with a time of 25 minutes, 58.8 seconds. For Highline, Olivia Wall finished 73rd with a time of 22 minutes, 21.5 seconds. For Maxwell, Lachelle Benitez finished 53rd with a time of 21 minutes, 43.2 seconds. For Maywood Hayes Center, Agnieszka Sankey finished 85th with a time of 22 minutes, 48.4 seconds. For Southern Valley, Addison Lozo took 84th with a time of 20 minutes, 40.5 seconds. Wallace's Eliana Robertson finished 103rd with a time of 23 minutes, 52.5 seconds. Juanita Palisades, Annalie Ramirez finished 37th with a time of 21 minutes, 7.8 seconds. Now on the boys' side, for Alma, Nolan File led the way with a time of 18 minutes, 16.01 seconds, and finished 33rd. Vaughn Fennell finished 45th for the Cardinals with a time of 18 minutes, 33.32 seconds. Grayson Shriver, he finished 58th with a time of 19 minutes, 0.86 seconds. Eric Zickman finished 72nd with a time of 19 minutes, 27.52 seconds. And Creighton Lynch finished 77th with a time of 19 minutes, 35.32 seconds. For Bertrand Loomis, Jonah Fisher finished 102nd with a time of 19 minutes, 14.3 seconds. Cambridge's Braden Sanford, he finished 107th with a time of 19 minutes, 19.0 seconds. Highline's Connor Edwards finished 108th with a time of 19 minutes, 19.9 seconds. Medicine Valley's Cale Garrett finished his high school career just outside the medals, placing 19th with a time of 17 minutes, 11.3 seconds. And for Wallace, Max Hansen, he finished 26th with a time of 17 minutes, 29.3 seconds. Coverage that we provided that day was brought to you by these great sponsors: Dakey Law Office, C+, Holdridge Family Dental, Onyx Native, Cambridge Rehab and Fitness, Webb's Oilfield Service, Arapahoe Rehab and Fitness, Jackson Construction, Dayspring Bank, Double D Hauling and Spreading, Kelly Decker, and Lord's Hardware Furniture and Appliances. We'll take a break and we will be right back. You're listening to the RPAC Rundown Podcast. We're going to take a look at what RPAC teams are still battling in the 2025 football season. But before we do that, we've had a really cool piece of content out for a little over a month now, brought to you by Acme Printing Company in McCook. They are sponsoring some interviews that we are doing, highlighting the arts. So we are interviewing RPAC students who are involved in the arts, whether that's music, play, art, etc. It's really cool to see what's going on the art side of education. We're really excited about it, and to partner with Acme Printing Company, it's been a lot of fun so far. Have you checked out Acme Printing Company's website? If you haven't, go to acmeprint.co. You can order online. They do so many cool things like marketing products, stationery, direct mailing, signage, promotional products, storefront and vehicle graphics, and more. We personally use Acme Printing Company. They print our magazine. They've hooked us up with great pens, and they came and did the signage on my office. Great local business and people to work with. So be on the lookout for those interviews on social media, and be sure to check out Acme Printing Company for your printing needs. Now, we have 5 teams still playing in the playoffs, of course, in 8-man. It is round 2 this week, and then the first round of 6-man football for the playoffs this week in Class D6. All of these games are on Friday. So in D1, we have Dundee County Stratton. They are hosting number 15 seed McCool Junction at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. Of course, the Tigers are the number 2 seed. In Class D2, it is number 3 seed Hitchcock County facing number 19 seed Twin Loop at 7 p.m. in Trenton. That is 7 p.m. Central Time. In Class D6, number 15 seed Juanita Palisade will go to number 2 seed Red Cloud at 5:30 p.m. Central Time. Number 10 seed Wallace goes to number 7 seed Hampton. Kickoff at 7 p.m. Central Time. And then number 3 seed Southwest will host Lewiston at 6 p.m. Central Time. And that will be in Bartley, once again, 6 p.m. Central Time. All of those games are on Friday. Let's take one final break, and then we will close out the show. You're listening to the RPAC Rundown Podcast. That will do it for this week's episode of the podcast. Be on the lookout for the Athletes of the Week, brought to you by First Central Bank. Always highly anticipated. We typically drop those on Thursday. Glad to have First Central Bank as our partner on those. We continue to have great content continuing to roll out on our website at rpacrundown.com. And of course, check out social media for all kinds of great stuff there too. We need to thank great sponsors of the podcast like JBK Operating LLC, Dundee County Hospital, First Central Bank, Cross Diamond Cattle Company, Tri-Valley Medical Foundation, and Prairie Girl Candle Company. That'll do it for this week's edition of the RPAC Rundown Podcast.